So it's no surprise that India completed a thumping win at the WACA. Just shy of 300 runs was the margin, and it was a complete performance. Tick, tick, tick. No notes, carry on as you are. Our biggest win in Australia has set us up very nicely for this series, and it really has stamped a new standard for Indian Test cricket to follow. That 3-0 drubbing at home to New Zealand is now a bit further in that rearview mirror, but we must not forget about it. It did happen, and very recently too. But in the 4 days, we were in trouble for what? 50 overs, which was in that first innings, and as soon as Bumrah had the ball in the second, it was all us. It really was a captain's performance, leading from the front and by example. I mean, there was no surprise that he was man of the match. Of course, Yashasvi had to be considered for his 160, but a fifer in the first and three in the second for Bumrah. I mean, your time will come, Jaiswal. I mean, what am I saying? It's already here. Only Joe Root has more runs than Jaiswal in 2024. It's been an outstanding year for Yashasvi. But with Bumrah, man, it's not even about the wickets. His average is ludicrous, by the way, but it's just that fear factor that he has. As a batsman, you just don't know how he's going to get you. He has so many weapons in any condition. He is a cheat code. Man, we are so lucky to have him. But when Australia came out to bat yesterday, with that shadow, there was that feeling of inevitability. With Bumrah, he was going to get one at least. He's that level of a game changer. You give him 2 overs and he gets you one. But no, he gets you two and he leaves them on the floor. There was great support there from Siraj, and it was him who really stepped up this morning, considering Bumrah did all the damage the day before. Khwaja early on with a shot that made no sense, and then an absolute beauty to Steve Smith to dismiss him. But with nothing to lose, you kind of knew that Australia, with Travis Head coming, were just going to come out fighting and swinging. And fair play to him, man. His innings was great fun. Even when he plays against you, sometimes you just have to, put your hands up or sometimes just even applaud. And what that counterpunch partnership did with Mitch Marsh, that gave Australia something to take away from what has been a horror test for them. Look, these are quality players and we know what they are capable of. But when you get beat in such a convincing fashion, that instinct and impulse almost of wanting to change your team, it will be there. But I don't think Australia will do that. They are not a team that panics. Look, they got nothing from their top four in this test, and I would be very surprised if that was the case in Adelaide. But Smith and Labuschagne's form is a source of huge concern for Australia. But as for us, I mean, the vibes are immaculate. We have the luxury of adding Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Jaddu, Ashwin, and even Shami for the next test. But how much do you change a winning team? I mean, that'll be very interesting to see. One person I know that who might just get lost in this test was Jurel. I mean, he was in the background, but I felt that the catch he took at short leg, wow. I mean, some catches just leave you speechless, and that was one. At least for him, he has that to take away in this test on a personal level, and you feel for him. But other than that, the performance was great all around. But I want to highlight our two all-rounders, Washi and Nitish Reddy. I mean, hats off to the brain trust on that one. It was so good to see both chip in with the bat and ball. I mean, Washi in his infant test career has already shown what he's capable of. Gabba 2021 comes to mind, and the fact that he's such a steady bat is a huge positive. If he bats at 5, I don't think he looks out of place, and that's a huge compliment to him. And then there's Nitish Reddy. On debut in Australia, outstanding. With the bat, he played 2 different types of innings, and then he picked up Mitch Marsh as his first ever test wicket. And that's 2 players that India really need to invest our stocks in going forward. So it's a brilliant test match, but there's plenty of work still to be done. The next test is on the 6th of December. Plenty of time for both teams to reassess and recalibrate for the next test.